HD said autonomy without responsibility. So single mothers have to know that if you're going to be in that role, however way you got there, you have to be willing to accept the responsibility. Okay, you have the mother and the father role. Okay, you don't know what it takes to be a man. When somebody comes and disciplines your child, let them do it. Let them. My son was at the church. He was running around. I said, "Let me get security." They walked him away. I knew what they were doing. They were supporting me. So I let people do what they need to do to help me in support of my son. Unfortunately, he was in a scenario we could not. It was out. Some things are out of your control, Biz. You never see it coming. That's the only thing. Like, I know it's a small percentage, but when you have lived it, you like, it's no way I could have seen this one coming here. That's just life being life, right?
That's
And
just life.
so,
That
but
happens.
I've tried to rectify the situation. I'm going to get married again, like things like that. I do what I can do to do damage control, but that doesn't mean that I did it. I wanted it to happen. I did everything you could think was right, but every single time it was only some certain mistake only an expert could know, right? And then I made that one mistake, and then it set me back plenty of years. So, but the autonomy, back to the autonomy with responsibility. If we're going to be making our own decisions, we got to be responsible for the full picture, the full vision. Not, no, I want my baby to be okay, my baby to be comfortable. No, at the age of 5, you're not even supposed to be really raising them. The dad's supposed to be really raising your son. So we got to know how to deal with our sons because they can get out of control very quickly, very young. My son, he's the only one in the house. He'll go in the refrigerator at like 1 year old and get food and drag it and say, "This is what I want to eat." The kids sitting there 10 to 11 won't even feed herself, waiting for me. But a boy is going to go do what he got to do. Not my kid starving in the house by himself. He going to eat some paper. I don't care what he do. That boy going to make sure he's okay. So they're different, and we have to make sure that we put them in a position to win, even if we started behind, the starting line.
Ruth, I totally agree. I totally agree. HD, what you got on solution, sir?
So I appreciate everybody's perspective. I'm glad that you guys are able to articulate yourselves really well. I understand that the things that women are really skilled at, they protect people in a very different way, right? Men seem a lot more apt in protecting you physically. Women are more apt to protect you more spiritually and emotionally,
To go
right?
off what he's saying,
And
kind of like this quote. That's women.
I don't
I'm
even.
just piggybacking off
I
what you
don't.
said.
So from a man's perspective, and I don't know if the other men on this panel can agree with it, but I don't understand what that means. I
So
protected my
basically,
father, not my abuser.
right. So from a woman's standpoint, if her father is abusing her, she won't say anything because I prefer to just keep my father because I'm protecting him, not the abuser. Meaning he's abusing me, but I'd rather just be abused than see my daddy go to jail. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of women, you'll be amazed. They got brothers who molest them, uncles, but because he's my uncle, like I love him so much, I'd rather save
But
his
Or your child's
reputation.
father.
Or your
that's the
child's father.
problem. But
I,
That's
that's
just
the problem.
right. It is
So
a
how do
problem.
we
Right.
so
It is a
so
problem.
how
We acknowledge.
I read that very differently.
how do we get women, because this isn't something that men can do.
It's
This
That's
that's
HD's
not
turn.
but when you
that's
ask
not
that
that's
question, you jump in. I asked that question.
It's HD's turn.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
wanted to have that
Let me,
conversation with women.
Go ahead, my
Okay.
bad.
yeah. What's
I want you
interesting
to
about
just a
that
little.
that what's interesting about that statement, right? So when you, Viz, gave the example of the second that you saw a problematic behavior that could lead to killing, that he should be killed for, right? And you want to snuff it out immediately. The beauty in women is you could potentially have killed somebody that could have eventually been better in the future. And you don't know that because you already killed him because he showed the first signs. Because a man's duty is to nip stuff in the bud, and the woman's duty is to give you a chance so that you can continue to grow and change and develop, right? That's why they're gifted with carrying a child for 9 months, right? They have a long incubation period for to bring things they received to term, right? Versus us, we have that one session and we hold all the seed, and in 5, 10, a minute, 30 minutes, however long the action was, right? We just pass it off. Our ability to see a problem and want to swiftly get rid of it is our benefit, especially for things that are like immediate attention things that we need to kill. But if we always respond to things as if they're always an immediate danger, right? Even whether they are or they're not, we will never get to see the arc of repentance, or we won't be able to experience certain changes and growths so that it can show other people the possibility of the things that can be in the future. But as far as on this topic, right? Um, Interesting thing for me is you always have the best opportunity. Well, you may increase your opportunity of success when you don't do things by yourself, right? And that many people uh, quote the scripture. They said, he will never put anything on you than you can bear, right? To me, you should read a little bit further. It says that there's no temptation that's not common to man, but with the temptation, he provides a way of an escape so that you can bear it. Oftentimes we take things as if, like, especially when we talk about dick discipline and all these other things, we think that, oh no, you got to you got to stand tall, you got to be the pillar of discipline and da da da. You got this woman completely naked, I should be able to stand next to her and do absolutely nothing. Which, okay, there's some chance that you can do that, right? But a lot of your ability to be able to avoid and grow and be able to avoid temptation is to take the ways to escape from those situations before they even become a major problem. And I think that as we continue to have these conversations about, these people that should be what's it called, chastised for their problems that they cause and stuff like that, we should also understand, like, listen, men and women were better together. And if we don't take the time to understand that, though we have differences and these things, can kind of come together and make things happen. My words is really jumbled right now. But if we can understand the benefits that the other has, we can continue to build better futures for the rest of us. Because the thing is if it was all men ahead of everything, especially if we took this approach, a lot of us would be dead already. But if we took all just a women approach, then we'd have a lot more issues in society because they just it could potentially not be a problem in the future. And we just like, nah. So I think that as we continue to appreciate the differences and understand, like, like, it's not going to be easy. And it does not feel good to have yourself experience things that directly affect you and can cause you issues for the rest of your life, and think big picture when the things are specifically happening to you. If somebody's fighting me and I'm getting beat up, I'm taking that personal. They're like, no, don't take it personal. They beat everybody up, but he personally beat me up, and now I got a problem, right? So I understand it's hard for, you wanted to think big picture when you're the one that's getting beat up, right? But if we continue to let our emotions continue to keep us in a stagnant place, there's a saying that says, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep it. So you must understand, listen, if you continue to fight with your limitations, right, and from your own limited point of view, you'll only have just that. So I would just encourage folks to be like, hey, listen, it is, oh, this is what I want to address. I saw the thing that I think Shan brought it up, that said that she's not a victim. Whether you believe that you're a victim or not, if you received harm, you believed all this other stuff, something happened to you, you are a victim.
You
That
are.
doesn't mean that just because you are a victim that you have to be like, woe is me. You can understand that you're a victim and still be like, dang, I can avoid this in the future, or I can protect other people from potentially being a victim. She is a victim. She is a victim of receiving physical harm from a person who committed a crime. a person she probably cared about, right? She's still a victim. But I think that we need to start approaching these conversations with two things can be true. Because oftentimes when we have our conversations, you know, we're going to continue to go back and forth because we think, oh, this is more right than this. Or, you know, you didn't count for this, you didn't count for that. The reality is two things is true. She was a victim. There's ways that she can, you know, avoid things in the future. We can say that Diddy is a victim of his circumstances from beyond, but also he's a criminal because he decided to assault this woman and do these things to this woman, and now he deserves to get the repercussion of his actions. So we need to understand that we can have nuance and all this other stuff. That's fine, but we need to be able to call a spade and not face significant vitriol from people that's literally want to quote unquote just be like, oh no, we can't do that. Nah, bro. If men are unwilling to take these stances that we take, we continue to let our cities and our families burn. But we also need to be submitted in such a way that um we are able to listen to reason. We are able to be humble enough to listen to other people's knowledge and expertise, and that we need to be able to make reasonable judgments so that we're able to continue to, you know, hopefully have better results. Because even if you do the right thing, that doesn't guarantee a positive result.
You got a church?